You were tuned in to G5JeffTv. It's your boy G5, aka the Guru. I got my man riding shotgun with me today, Toby. What's going on, Toby?
How you guys going? How's everyone?
All right. And the man of the hour, uh, big victory on June 5th. Lucas Big Daddy Browne is in the building. What is going
How are
on?
we? Thank you
Massive.
very much for having me, man. Thank you.
Hey man, we appreciate you, man. Um, just rewinding back to the fight against Junior Fa.
Yep.
When did you hear about the fight, and like how long was camp for you?
I think I think camp was about 6 weeks. Um, so with fights, yeah, there's always something. It may be a little bit earlier or longer than others, but like there's always something going on, and you've always got to be ready. So I'm always, yeah, I'm at probably 60-70% at least always. You know what I mean? So when they say okay, a fight's on, you're like sweet. You can mentally project everything and prepare and go forward. So I'm pretty sure I had a good 6 week camp for this, which was great. Had some good sparring with great up and coming fighter in Australia, Justice Hooney. Um, so if I was able to sort of prepare myself against Justice Hooney's speed, I'd be able to handle Junior Fa. The plan going into it was always me starting fast early because I generally start a bit slower. So I
Right.
thought, okay, start fast, come out with some pressure, and throw my right hand, and that was pretty much it. That was the thought process going into it, and it landed, so it worked.
So you just kept it simple, basically.
Pretty much, man. Like I know for a fact, like a Deontay Wilder, I've got the power to knock anyone out, but if you don't put yourself in the position or you don't have the aggression and all this sort of stuff comes with it, there's no point. So I wanted to make sure that that part of it was on point and let the power slide. Yeah.
Go ahead, Toby.
No. So I was just going to simply ask, with Justice Hooney, how many rounds do you guys reckon you went? Because obviously is a very quick fighter, probably one of the smaller heavyweights
Yeah.
on the Australian side of boxing. How do you think you compared with him, and how many rounds did you go to prepare for the fight?
I went to Queensland for 2 weeks and we sparred every second, maybe every third day, sort of thing. And it was like 4 to 6 rounds. So I'm not a mathematician. I don't count well, but yeah, I'd say probably 30 rounds all up because I went back up again for the second time. So I'd say probably 30 rounds all up. He's very good. He's very young, obviously quick, fast, fit, keen. And just full of vigor, which is nice because I can stand there with the best of anyone and sort of make them go slower and tire out and stuff like that. But he just go. So it's a great test for me as well. I like being tested. I like having something different, and he just brings that for me. So if I can handle the pace and the speed that he brings with the enthusiasm, I'll be sweet against anyone else.
Okay.
And
Okay. Go
And
ahead, Toby.
speaking on Junior Fa, how did you feel in those opening rounds that he was performing? What was the performance like in your experience? Because you've been up with some really big fights in your
Yeah.
lifetime, and I know it was only a short period, but Junior Fa's had some great experience as well with Joseph Parker. So I'm keen
Yeah.
to know what your thoughts were.
Well, I was under the assumption that he was going to fight me the same way he fought Parker. You look at a lot of tapes and stuff on Junior Fa. He comes forward and he bashes away at these people, but they basically just stand there with their hands up. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they're more like a punching bag style thing. Knowing that I've got the power, and the way that he fought Joseph Parker, I was under the assumption. Sometimes it's a bad thing because it doesn't come out that way. But I was under the assumption that it was going to basically go back and be on the back foot. Um, he did a little bit of both, but all I wanted was to land that right hand and put him on the back foot. Luckily, it landed flush, basically on the side of his face and on his ear, and it shouldn't have been allowed to go past that first sort of punch because he was out. He was well and truly out. Even when he stood
Flopping.
up, he was still out. So I thought, okay, you want to let it go? I'm only going to hit him one more time, you know. And so yeah, I was
That's all
happy,
I needed.
of course, but yeah, it was no good for him.
Yeah.
Now, Junior Fives, he's known for the fight. Well, in the States, he's known for the fight with Joseph Parker. Watching that fight, so when you get the call for the fight against Junior Five, I'm assuming you probably that was probably one of the first fights you watched.
Yeah.
I know for me, watching the fight against Joseph Parker, and then I heard about the fight you were gonna have with him, I felt like you was gonna have a lot of opportunities to get your right hand off. Did you feel that way just watching the tape, with Junior Five?
I knew he'd be very gun shy, and he keeps that left hand up very high. So he didn't actually, out of that 10-round fight or whatever it was for Parker, he didn't throw the right hand that much at all. So I think
Right.
it was probably 10 times the whole fight.
Right.
So it was very left hand dominant. So I knew if I tried to bring my straight right through, it would sort of get in the way of his left that's hanging out there. So I would have to come around. I was going to also go the body a lot to make sure that I either tire him out or just lower everything on his end.
Right.
But yeah, I thought the Parker fight with Farr was very boring, to be honest. It's very much like watching Huey Fury. Yeah, he just runs around all the time. Like, why not go in there and engage at least half the time? You know what I mean? Don't be stupid and put yourself in harm's way. But like, you have to actually engage as well.
But did you feel like you could win the fight just simply off of activity? Because Junior Five, he tends to keep his hands in his pocket quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly that. Just basically being more active, having a lot more pressure. At the same time, Parker was his last fight, but that was over a year ago as well. So, yeah, you can spar all you want, but fighting is fighting, and it is different. So
Mm-hmm.
that little bit of inactivity, I wanted to come out stronger fast, just to make sure that he knew that I was in there for a fight.
Were you surprised the referee let it go after the first knockdown? Because I was surprised
Hell yes,
myself.
yeah. I'm not trying to bag the guy out, but like he was having a weird looking fit thing on the ground. And then all of a sudden he got up and his legs were like stiff. And then the ref said move and they were still shaky. I'm sitting in the corner waving my hands going, it's over. I'm like, damn, he's letting it go. Okay, I'm coming again. Like, like the one thing with me as well, like any fighter that I've ever hurt or stunned or whatever it may be, I finish them. So as soon as that happened, I'm like, cool, it's over. Yeah.
Lucas, your face was so funny because I could tell you're thinking the fight is over. So the referee's like this, and you
Yeah.
looking like, are you serious?
Yeah.
All right, cool, let's go.
I don't. He seems like a really nice guy. We spoke before and everything else. Like, I don't want to hurt him, but
Right.
we are in there for a fight, so I'm going to knock you out. I didn't care. Like, but yeah, I didn't want to hurt the guy.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it was a big first round knockout and a good one to put under the books as well. I've always wondered, where do you feel, Lucas, is your next fight? Who are some opponents? You mentioned before Huey Fury, of course. Where do you see yourself heading back to the UK, perhaps for another fight?
I would definitely love to head back to the UK for another fight, 100%. Right now, I have 3 options. And when I say options, there's 3 that are on the table. 2 are really options. One's just a hope. But Eddie Hearn is coming to Australia with Matchroom in September. So he's already offered me a fight to fight Dempsey McKean, who's I think he's number 1 in Australia, but he's linked with Matchroom. So that's a very good fight and a very winnable fight on my end as well. So I'm happy with that. Obviously, keep the ball rolling with the wins and belts and whatever it may be. Number 2 is Joseph Parker, but in the UK.
Okay.
So Joseph Parker said yes. Boxer, who is with us, said yes. And we're just waiting on TV, so Sky. We're just waiting for Sky, and then we'll take it from there as well. Obviously, that's worth a lot more money, a lot more prestige, everything else than the McKean fight. So instead of just jumping in the McKean fight, I just want to make sure I've got some options. The Daniel Dubois fight is the one I really, really want. because he now owns or holds the belt that I once did.
That's
So
your old belt.
for me,
That's your old belt.
Yes.
So for me to go over and fight in the UK against Dubois for the WA regular title, that would be, at this point in my career, 43 years old, coming to the end of it, what a way to finish as well. You know what I mean? So that'd be definitely something I'm chasing. Philippe Fondue is doing the matchmaking for the Warren crew now. Philippe Fondue had a lot to do with Hatton when I was with Hatton. So there is conversations, but there's nothing confirmation of any sort.
Yeah, and we just got finished watching Dubois over Trevor Bryan.
Yeah.
Now, with that fight, is it more so Dubois, or is it more so that he has your belt and you want your?
Oh no, definitely the belt. 100% the belt. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Dubois is a great up and coming talent as well. He's doing great things. He's shown that he's got all the tools. Yeah. I think he is a little bit robotic. But in saying that, so is Klitschko. You know what I mean? And look at the guy. The guy's had the best career out. So if he does things right, they're done very well. But he is easy to hit as well. So for someone like me with my power, that's great. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
But 100% is the belt, my man. Yeah.
And for sure, we saw a lot of his shots. We saw him catching a lot of shots to the face against Trevor Bryan, despite Trevor Bryan holding on to that title for quite a while now with Don King.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, I agree. I think it would be a great opportunity for you, and I think you'd be able to put in your own fist to his face. As an Australian, I'd like nothing more to see that. Personally, though, I think you've got a loss to avenge with the Dave Allen fight. I personally think that you still can get that win, and I think that was a really great build up to that fight. I really enjoyed the press conferences, the respect. And Dave Allen's always a great bloke as well. You know, online and in person.
Well, the thought process going into the Dave Allen fight was totally different. It was, he's got a great chin. Let's not come out and try and basically waste all our energy in the first round. Let's take it as it comes. So I truly believe I was winning the first 2 rounds. I got caught with a beautiful body shot. I looked at my corner. He's like, get up. And I went, nah. But you know what? That's the first time I've ever been caught with a proper body shot, especially in a fight. 20 seconds later, I was completely fine. Like nothing ever happened, no broken, no bruises, no nothing. And I'm like, should I have held on? You know what I mean? But we live and learn, you know what I'm saying? So it was a very bad learning experience in front of everyone, at the O2. But I'm still the only Australian heavyweight to headline the O2 twice now, you know what I mean? So I'll take that. I'll take that.
Talk your stuff, Lucas. Talk your stuff.
That's right.
And you know the thing about bringing up Dave Allen is kind of brings up the testament of your longevity in the sport. Dave Allen is a lot younger, but he's pretty much like not boxing because he's been through so many wars and things like that. So do you think people like fans lose sight of how difficult it is to have such a long career as a boxer?
I definitely think so as well. 100%. But I think what fans do as well at the moment is bring their own life into what they're saying. So they say, "Oh, he's 43. No, that's too old." Like just because you think you're too old doesn't mean I do. You know what I mean? And at the same time, I was 32 when I started full-time boxing. Like so, I started very late. Yeah, if I was in my 20s and started, to be a totally different story. I would probably be retired by now. But I started very late. We've had a lot of inactivity through the drugs bullshit with the world title and stuff. Then we've had a lot of activity with COVID. So really, I haven't been beat around the head all these years. You know what I mean? So I think I've still got a little. I want to have 3-4 more good, productive, money-making fights and go out on a high.
Yeah, when you got the knockout over Junior 5, I don't know about you. I heard cash registers ringing and Brinks trucks and things like that. I said, Mr. Browne is about to get a nice check out of this. So you should pretty much go a pretty good run. Me personally, I think the
Yeah.
Dubois fight would be awesome.
Yeah.
As far as Joseph Parker, just a little piece of advice. He likes to hug a lot. Just
Yeah,
want to
man.
put that
Yeah.
out there.
Keep
He
him
likes
on
to
jab.
hug.
See,
Yeah.
I come from an MMA background. Like I fought Daniel Cormier for a world title
Mm.
first. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
I don't mind the hugging because it's relaxing, and I stop, I breathe, and I take a breath. So for me, I don't mind it. But yeah, I
And
don't think
that's
he's gonna like my
something.
weight.
Yeah, and Lucas, that's something that people don't understand. Like a lot of people can't handle the clenching and the holding. A lot of times people get frustrated with it. We just seen
Yeah.
the fight with Edgar Berlanga. He was frustrated with the holding, and he tried to bite his
Yeah.
opponent.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I do think handling holding and things like that, I do think it's a skill set. I think it's
Yes.
definitely a skill set.
But to do it in a calm manner, like a lot of people, they panic and they use all their energy trying to get out of it. So
Mhm.
it does nothing for them. But I stand there, I position my hands correctly, whether it be the underhooks or just controlling a glove or something, so I'm not getting punched in the face.
Right.
Just take a breath. I think someone like a George Foreman was the best at it because he controlled so
Yes.
many people with those hands. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I think there's very good insight there. And in fact, I actually want to ask on your insight from having an MMA and having a boxing experience. You see a lot of these crossovers at the moment. You see Francis Ngannou entering Tyson Fury's ring and things like that. What's your own experience transitioning as an MMA fighter into a boxer? Is it so fluid to you as a fighter? Are there so many more lessons that you think that Francis Ngannou is never going to learn without having like experience that you would require? What's your thoughts on that?
I think from my end, I was never a kicker or a wrestler. I'd get involved in dirty boxing, or if I was wrestling anyone, I'd be on top. It was all good. But if I was on my back, I was like a turtle. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, I'm a big, strong dude, but you've got technique and you've got boxing strength. Wrestling strength. And I think the reason I went, okay, I'm just going to box now is because I went up against someone like a Cormier who was basically very proficient at what he did. And if I wanted to be better in UFC or America or whatever it may have been, I would have to have a good wrestling base. And at that age, at like 32 years old, I didn't want to start learning, you know what I mean? So I basically said, let's just do boxing. It was going to be easier. So as hard as boxing is, it is easier from me coming from MMA because I only have to worry about hands. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about
Right.
kicks and wrestling and everything else. When you look at sort of, for example, a Tyson Fury and Ngannou, like Ngannou can bring the wrestling to the boxing without being messy with it. So that would also make Tyson Fury at a disadvantage. But Tyson Fury being 6'9", long as hell, and can box like he's 6 foot, I think
Mhm.
he'd have very much an advantage. I think a lot of people forget that a jab, no matter what style you're in, a jab is the best thing. Like George St. Pierre back in the day, just
Yes.
he out
Yes.
jabbed everyone in his day, you know, and it was the best
Mhm.
thing. You have to start with the jab.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. With the going to the Dubois fight, I really hope you get that fight. When you facing a power guy like that, take us into the mindset of going up against a power guy like that. Do you think it's better off to try to get him into the later rounds and try to get him up out of there? Or do you feel like we just gonna go gun for gun and we just gonna go for it early?
I don't like going gun for gun because I cut way too easily.
Mm.
I heal extremely quick. Like literally, I in the Cormier fight, I had 19 stitches. 13 stitches across my eyebrow,
Ooh.
and I fought a week and a half later. Like that's how quick I
Wow.
healed. Yeah, but I
That's
cut
superhuman.
just as easy. You know what I mean? So yeah. I don't know, some sort of Wolverine genes or something. I don't know. But I cut really, really, really easy. So for me, I wouldn't want to go toe to toe like that. I'd want to do two things: pressure him, so I'm closer to him. Someone like him, he'd want to fight me at his distance. So if I can close the distance, go the body, come with the uppercuts, stuff like that, it'll make it a lot harder for him. And yes, 100% take it into the later rounds.
And you speak of getting your belt back and everything. Scenario, you knock out Daniel Dubois, cracking shot to the temple. Where do you go from there? I mean, surely have you set a date on your career? Because I still think you're still cracking on at your age, as you said. You feel like you've got more years, surely?
Yeah. I've sort of put that 3 to 4 fight mark on it just so I could have something. And the thing is, if I started losing and or getting like belted, I'd stop. You know what I mean? Like I'm not stupid about it. At the same time, if I was to go 12 rounds and win lose by decision, that's all right. You know what I mean? You've had a good fight, all that sort of stuff. So I put 3 to 4 fights on it just to make it something. You know what I mean? I always said also 45 was probably the age I'd want to stop at. But as I said, inactivity has really played its part in my career with everything so far. So I haven't had as many fights as I wanted to. So as long as I keep winning and or being competitive, I'm good with still going. Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna get this last question out of the way. We don't want to keep you for too long. Did you take offense to Junior Fi and their team for talking about like challenging the result? Like as far as like you didn't take it personal?
I don't see. I've had like 12, 13 years of social media and being attacked and being basically just having a go at every day of my life for 13 years. So like I don't take anyone seriously anymore. I don't take anything that people say anymore, because most of these people, not Junior Fi and the team, but most of these people that say things online would never say it to your face.
That's
and
a fact.
it's just the world that we live in. Like you imagine someone like a Muhammad Ali having social media. Number one, he was black. Number one, he had a big mouth. Number two, he was Muslim. Like there's so many things you can go on. Like he would have got crucified over social media. So unfortunately, it is just the day and age we live in. So the block button for me is my favorite button. I just block and move on, you know. And so with Junior Fi's team, the first shot, no matter what, the first shot landed perfectly on the ear and side of the head. The second shot, as I threw it, he moved and moved out of the way. So wherever it hit him, that's his fault, not mine. You know what I'm saying? So as well as the referee. You know what I mean? So the referee said something.
It's very rare that you see a decision like overturned, and it's a bang bang call. Like it's a bang bang call. Boxing doesn't have replay. The one time we seen replay, it was a disaster. And I think that was on Top Rank ESPN. With Maloney. That fight. That,
I remember that, yes.
Yeah, they spent about 45 minutes watching the same 10-second clip before they decided not to change anything. So it's just good to see you just back in the mix. Going into the Junior Fi fight, I'm like, I'm just gonna sit back as a fan and just see what happens. And I almost didn't catch it. Lucas, you almost caught me. You caught me at the refrigerator right before the fight started. You caught me at the refrigerator, and I got back, and you did your thing, man. So it was great to see. Hopefully, you get the Dubois fight. If not, the Joseph Parker fight, that'll work for me as well. But I think what you've done in your career, and people don't even realize, I'm like, you beat James Toney back in like 13. Like people don't even realize that. Like you went up against Dillian White. You know, you've been to the high levels of the sport, and to see it, and I appreciate it because I'm from Philadelphia. So Bernard Hopkins, he fought well into his 40s and all of that, and he didn't really reach his peak until he hit like his 40s. So it's more than possible.
I always love the Julius Long fights, because that guy's a mountain, and when you overcome some of them, man, when you've got your hand in his face and you're just absolutely wailing on him, I love that fight so much, because God knows how you He is what 7'1", I think he is.
7'1", 145 kilos. Yeah.
That's
crazy.
I mean,
But you know what?
insane.
The first fight that we fought, I thought to myself, all right, I'm just going to throw my hand up and see how he defends. But I broke my hand in the first punch, so I broke my right hand. So I had to knock him out with my left. That's why it took 8 rounds.
Oh,
Wow.
So yeah, the second fight, we're all good with the second fight. So yeah, it took like 3 or 4. Yeah, so he's a nice bloke. He was with the sparring with Hooney as well, and he's a nice bloke. So it's good.
Wow.
Well, hopefully Hooney's not planning a fight with Tyson Fury anytime soon, because I can only imagine he's the only person who's
pretty
at
much,
that height.
man.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Lucas Browne, we appreciate you so much for stopping by and talking with us. Toby, you got any final thoughts?
No, very thankful. Thank you very much, Lucas, for all of your time. Where are you currently? You're still in Perth?
Yeah, in Perth. Yeah. My kids are here, all that sort of stuff. So I try to, they're getting older now. They don't want to hang around their dad as much, so I take whatever time I can get. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Pretty soon, like nothing's planned, but like 18, 20, 24, they could have children at any time soon. You know what I mean? So might be granddad soon, and then they'll want to see me every day for sure. You know?
Absolutely.
Browne.
Big Granddaddy Brown.
Nice. Big Papa.
Yeah,
right.
That'd be some great walkout music.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Lucas, you want to give everybody your social media?
Okay, we're Lucas Big Daddy Browne on Instagram. Just Lucas Browne on Facebook. What else we got? Oh, we're on Snapchat. We're on everything, man. We're on everything.
Hey, I'm gonna find all the information and post it.
Instagram's the best one. So I like Instagram the best.
All right.
So Lucas Big Daddy Browne on Instagram. Got the tick as well. Got the verified tick.
I seen that. Yes, Lucas Browne is official on Instagram. But Lucas, it was an absolute pleasure having you on. We greatly appreciate it. On behalf of Toby, Lucas, Big Daddy Browne, and G5JeffTv, we out.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Right.
See you.
Thanks.